Hey, this is Ralph, and in this video I want to go over our recent quiz where we had to create this multi-level drop-down menu. And it's an untimed quiz, so it's more like just an assignment, really. But yeah, we're creating this horizontal-based menu, but it's going to have a submenu that's vertical, and then the submenu is going to have its own submenu that's also vertical. And so I want to work through this, and especially the key tricky parts. Now, before I turned on the recorder, I already started some work just doing the basic horizontal menu before it gets too fancy, but I'll show you what I've got here. So I've got my main menu with the 5 items, and you can't really see the corner because I've got that yellow border on there. So let me where's my code at? There it is. Let me get rid of that yellow border so it's a little bit easier to see. Yeah, so I've got the rounded corners on the far left and on the far right, and when I scroll, it is a little bit sticky. So there we go. So let's see what we've got going on for this. First order of business, just the HTML. I'm trying to go super simple with this one. I did give my nav a class. I'm going to try to avoid putting classes on the unordered list menu and the submenus, even though that would be a smart thing to do, I think. It would make things a little bit easier, but I'm going to try to keep the HTML as clean as possible. So that's all I've got so far, and I'm not at the submenus yet. I'll be doing those in just a moment, but there's the HTML that I've got for the nav menu, just 5 items. Now for the CSS, let's go and check this out. Of course, I'm doing internal styles just to keep everything nice and contained into one page. But let's see, we have our reset rule, nothing shocking there. Now the body of the page, instead of doing a big padding bottom like I mentioned on the directions, I gave it a min height of 300 SVHs, small VHs. That's the viewport height, and 300 means 3 times as big, so 300%. And that seemed to have the benefit. I actually started off by doing a big padding bottom, and I was having problems getting my sticky menu to stick. With the big padding bottom, and maybe that's because I don't have a container and I don't have something else going on with that. So I felt pretty good that I had my position sticky proper down there, but it didn't work. So I changed this out to a min height on the body, 300 instead of the big padding bottom, and that seemed to have the benefit. In fact, let me show it to you. If I go to padding bottom 2000 pixels. I still get a tall page, but notice my nav menu, it doesn't stick to the top like I want it to. So I'll just undo that, put that back. Okay, headline 1, nothing fancy. I did give my headline 1 some really big padding just so it kind of separates itself. Don't need a headline 1 though, so you may not have done a headline 1. Now if I didn't do a headline 1, what if I just did a padding top? Will that work? Padding top of like 200 pixels, and I'm going to get rid of I'll just delete that. Delete the heading 1 there, jump down here, delete that heading 1, and how does that look? So there's my page, normal. Let me hit refresh, and it does still stick. So yeah, so that's fine there. Now, I wonder if the padding bottom would have worked at this point, but it doesn't matter. That's what we call in the business good enough. So yeah, so the nav menu is about there, and scrolls up, it sticks at the 40 pixel mark, so that'll be obvious, and I do have a big scroll. All right, well that's fine. All right, what else have I got going on here? So yeah, so I did position sticky, 40 pixels from the top, and I did a text align center on the main menu because I wanted it to center on the page. Now I did a couple of things related to centering, but for instance, if I did text align left, pops over to the left. So I'm basically treating the unordered list, which is in the main menu, as roughly an inline element. Here we go. So my unordered list, I did display inline block. Not essential, but it was one of the ways we could have just gotten it centered in there. Of course, a display flex or display grid would have been good modern ways to do that too. But this is a pretty simple method here. The unordered list is given characteristics of an inline element and a block element, so that takes care of that. Let's see now. the specific list items of the main menu. Now, of course, I'm using child selectors because I'm really specifying the main horizontal menu. I'm not dealing with the submenus yet. So list style none to get rid of the bullets. Background color, I just chose brown to give it that. Looks red to me here, but oh well. Can I do dark brown? Is dark brown a thing? I don't think it is a thing. What else do we got? We have dark khaki. What's dark khaki look like? A little lighter than what I want. Ooh, didn't look good at all. Let's go back to brown. Okay, let's see, what else do I have? I did float left on the list items in order to get my list items side by side. Again, different techniques for that. I hadn't used a float in quite a while, but that's one method. So obviously if the float is not there, then we get a vertical orientation, which is perfectly normal for list items since they are block elements. Let me just Control Z. So float left gets them side by side, and everything's looking pretty good there. Oh, and a border right. So basically, I want to try to reproduce these thin little gray borders in between the main list items. Can't really see it with services, but so I just gave them all a border right, thin gray border. However, for the last child, the last list item within my main menu, I said no border right. I don't want a border to show up on the very far right side, and I also use that opportunity to give border radius. Now with border radius for units, it's the top left corner, then it's the top right corner, bottom left corner. So I've got the top right and the bottom right with 5 pixels of border radius, and then similarly, just above that, my first list item in the main menu, top left corner, bottom left corner, have a 5 pixel border radius. So that gives my little curves on the left side and little curves on the right side. So, and the nice thing about writing it this way is then if you were to add more list items, your menu is still going to look good. You're still going to have the borders, little divider lines where you want. You're still going to have the border radiuses on the far ends the way you want. So it makes it really easy to expand to that menu. And let's see, what else have I got going on here? Last but not least, the anchors within the list items. So they got the font color. I've put some padding on there. Now by using padding to control the anchors, that gives me nice centered text within their spaces. If you could see the anchors, because the anchors are block elements, so if I had a border 2 pixels solid yellow on the anchors, you would see that the anchors fill up the list items. So you can't really click on anything except the anchors on those menus there. Let's get rid of that. And of course I just did some font size, text transform uppercase, all uppercase letters, bold, and text decoration, and I get rid of the underline. So that is where we are at the moment. And that is all just the setup. And I guess I'll leave all those list items in there for the short term, doesn't hurt anything. And I can see now it's time to start tackling these submenu deals. So things are gonna get really messy, really fast, but we're just gonna be calm and take care of it. So I see that there's a submenu within services. Fantastic. I'm still ignoring the second level submenu. So a submenu within services with a few items. Let me just take this off to the side. I'm going to be glancing at that as I work. Go back to the old code, and I'm going to go to my first services. I put my insertion point after the anchor tag, but within the list item, and this is going to be my first submenu. So I'm going to say, gosh, doing classes on these would just be so much easier. I'm going to do it. I'm doing it. So I'm going to go to this one, class equals level 1. It's just class equals level 2. There we go. So I have an unordered list in here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 list items. So I'm going to do list item child anchor times 4. There we go. And then I'll do a, what am I doing? I'm doing Alt-Shift. Yeah, that's it. And then I'll just put the that in there. And then I just need to put in some text. Graphics design. I guess I'll pause while I'm doing this. There we go, I'm back. So yeah, just plop those in there. Things are looking good. I got my level 2, level 1. I'm going to redo some of my styling, so I'm referencing these level 1s, or levels, classes. So let me look back over my CSS here. I've got my main menu. And okay, so instead of unordered list within the main menu, I can now say unordered list dot level 1. Clean that up. And I'll still do unordered list dot level 1 here. So now I don't need to reference that. Still, I'll do the direct list items in there for now. And I guess I can copy this. I copy that. And paste. And paste. Yeah, I guess it is going to make it easier to see what the hell's going on, right? Nav main menu anchor, that should be okay. But you know what, I'm going to change. Do I want to change this too? Yeah, because the submenus, as I'm looking at it, submenus, different colors, a little darker. Yeah, that orange you get on there is probably just from the hover effect. So, yeah, I guess just to be consistent. So what have we got? Unordered list level 1. Yeah, I'll do this too. Now, hopefully those changes aren't going to break things. So let's see. Now things are still going to look messy for sure because I've got that submenu in there. But yeah, see, things are definitely a little bit messed up. So I must have screwed something else up here. So let me do a little bit of exploration again. So we've got my main menu, unordered list level 1, and that is what I called things, right? Yep, level 1 unordered list. Okay, that looks good. Now that should work. Unordered list, level 1, not to be confused with level 2. Everything is spelled properly. My unordered list is within the list item for my submenu there. Okay, let me start back from the top. Actually, let me make sure everything is saved. Let me do a hard refresh just to make sure that's not my problem. It's not my problem. So let's see, what did I break? Unordered list, display, and all that's the same as it was before. I can still see it has the brown background color and the float left. My anchors, though, my anchors seem a little bit off, right? My anchors should be bigger than this, and that's something that's broken. I wonder if it's because sorry, I think I might have a student coming here. No, guess not. Oh, I see what my issue is, though, by the way. This indicates my anchors are a direct child of the unordered list, and that is definitely not the case. So basically, that will probably fix things. Okay, now we're back in business. Cool. Okay, well, while I'm there, actually, let's go back to the list items. So here's my list items. This time I need to do a position relative on those list items because I'm going to be positioning unordered list level 2 is going to be position absolute. And I always like to start off with top 0, left 0 to see how things are looking. And basically, I want to focus my attention on this unordered list. I want to position it in a good spot. And I want to position it beneath its parent list item. So I'm going to put a border 2 pixels solid, and I guess will green stand out to us? It does. Okay, so now I'm kind of ignoring a whole bunch of stuff. I just want to make sure I get this list item positioned appropriately. And it's okay if my list item actually is wider than its parent too. So, in fact, it looks like it's consistent width. So I could set this on here. Now, I'm going to do a width of 140%. Let me do this first, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm just looking at the width of the submenu compared to the width of the list item, and it's a little bit bigger. So 140%, 130%, either way would work. Maybe 130 looks a little bit like the picture. So that's fine. I'll do that. And I would like, yeah, graphics design and web design to all fit in there. So I just need to push them down a little bit. So one challenge that I've got is I don't know the exact height of these anchors, these buttons, because I just used padding, right? And of course, yes, I know we've got padding on the top that we know, and padding on the bottom that we know. But then go into the font size. We don't really know what the pixel size of the font size is, although we could have used a pixel size. So let's go play around with it this way. Instead of positioning this from the top, what if I position it 100% from the top? Instead of 0 from the top, 100% from the top. Now we start to see that unordered list. Perfect. If I don't know the pixel height, I certainly know percentage heights, right? So that's pretty good, actually. And I can see that that's all right. That's getting that menu roughly where I want it to be. Now, while I'm here, there could be a couple things that I want to do. So, for instance, unordered list, level 2, unordered list, level 2, list items. Anything special about these list items? Now, I was going to do text align left, but we'll do that for the anchors. So, I don't know what I want to do there, but I'm going to leave this anyway. What about unordered list dot level 2 list items anchors? This one we can do. So for instance, I can do background color, and it looks pretty dark. So I'll do like a 333. Good enough. And a foreground color of EEE. I'll take care of that. And text align left. And I'm going to do display block again. And I'll do a similar padding. Similar but different. What did I have before for the other anchors? I had 12 and 24. These don't look like they're going to be the same thing. Maybe 12 top and bottom, but not the 24 left and right. So I'm going to do 12 top and bottom and maybe just 4 left and right. How's that going to look? Yeah, let's go more. Let's go 8 pixels left and right. Let's get rid of the underline. None. Oh, with this list item, we can do list style none to get rid of those bullets. Remember, get rid of those bullets. So things are looking a little bit better there. Yeah, you can kind of see it. There's the picture, what we're going for. There we go. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to get rid of that green border next. Okay, don't need the green border anymore, but it looks like I've got a little bit more border radius to contend with. So with the level 2 list item, let's go for unordered list, level 2 list item, first child, border radius. Now let's see, it's the top left and the top right, so I can do top left, top right, 0, 0. And I'm going to copy this whole thing. And we're going to do last child. And this one's, you know what, I don't know if I can see it. Yeah, I guess it's there. Yeah, it is there, I suppose. So we just need to move the 5s over there in a space. And that should take care of that. Let's see if that does the trick. And you know what, I'm not seeing it, and that's because the anchors have that background color. So let's see, can I trick the system this way? Here we go. What if I did this? First child anchor, last child anchor. That is working. Excellent. Okay, now I want to push this down. I don't want my unordered list to be that close. However, here's something I don't want to do. Actually, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it wrong here because I want to show you the problem. I'm going to go to my level 2 and display none. That's going to get rid of my submenu. Perfect. However, when I unordered list dot level 1 li colon hover, when I hover over the list item of level 1, then I want unordered list level 2. Probably help if I scroll this up. Level 2 display block. I think that's what we want to do. How do we want level 2 submenu to change when we hover over a list item of level 1? Ooh, there we go. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Yeah, and notice I can go to any of these 4 menu items. Okay, so I wanted to show you that. Now, let's see. Let's go to a level 2 where I'm positioning it 100% from the top. There it is right here. What if I say I want that to be 105%? Well, when I hover, I still get it, and there's a little space. But my problem is watch when I scroll slowly down and I lose that hover in that little gap there, I lose my submenu. So that apparently is not going to work for us. I need that to be 100%. But I would also like the space to be there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit, not even really cheating. I'm going to go to my level 2 submenu and I'm going to give it a padding top of 4 pixels. And by doing this, I'm going to get that space, but I can still slowly scroll down. Oops, I just lost something. I don't know what I did there. And get to my submenu. I don't know what I hovered over. Of course, I can't go too far to the right. That makes sense. I need to be over this list item. And all right, I think that's good. I don't know. Yeah, I probably just moved my mouse too fast or something. Even there is okay. I lose the hyperlink. That's cool. But then I can still be back over there, move over here, back down. Okay, so I think we're in pretty good shape. So we know this is going to work. Now I'm going to go back to my level 2 where I have display none, and I'm going to put it back to display block so I can see it while I'm working. So now it's visible there the entire time, and things are looking pretty good. So now I want to work on a level 3. So I can make another submenu under branding. So I'm going to head back over to my code, down to the HTML. I'm going to find the word branding. There it is right here. Put my insertion point after the anchor, but before the list item. And I'll press my enter key, unordered list, and of course this is going to be class equals level 3. Yeah, much easier to do it that way, huh? List item child anchor times 4. Alt shift down. Asterisk, come on. Where's it at? There it is, or pound sign. And then I'll just jump over here and I'll pause while I type in the text. Okay, I'm back. Just typed in some text there. And yep, so I'm just basing my ideas off the picture here. So yeah, things are going okay. Now let's see. I am going to need, because we're doing positioning again, right? So I need the list items of level 2 to be position relative. So that way I can do a position absolute on the level 3 menu. So I'm going to go ahead and do that before I even look. So level 2 list items, there they are. Position relative. And then I need level 3. Guess I can do that down here. I should probably clean these up so they're a little bit more organized, but yeah, I guess I'll do this down here. Unordered list level 3 position absolute, and I always start with top 0, left 0, and give myself a border, 2 pixels solid purple. I think that'll be good for now, and let's just kind of see what kind of mess we have going for us. All right, not too shabby. Now, for some of the styling, because it looks like the level 3 submenu is styled the same as the level 2, so I'm going to try to be a little efficient here. So level 2, you know what, I'm going to see, how does this work? Unordered list dot level 3. Now the positioning is going to be a little bit different for each of these. So I am going to unordered list dot level 2 is going to be top 100%, left 0. And then unordered list dot level 3 is going to be, we'll say for now, actually no, we don't, we know it's going to be, right? We know it's going to be top 0, left 100%. We know it's going to be that way. And now that means I don't need the top and left up here. So we're positioning both level 2 submenu and level 3 submenu the same way. They're going to have the same width, they're going to be display block, they're going to be position absolute, they're going to have, ooh, they're not going to have padding top. One of them will. So level 2 is going to have a padding top 4 pixels. And I don't think the submenu for level 3 really has anything. So I'm going to reduce these so that they're consistent. We'll do that, but then we'll do padding left 2 pixels here, just so there's some consistency in the appearance. And how is this looking now? Well, looks like I've made some changes, but I'm not really getting the positioning like I would have expected. I'm not getting the styling the way I would have expected. So let's make sure my things are looking good here. So I do have a class level 3 for that submenu, and it looks like it's in the right location. So let's go back here. My level 2, oh, I should have position relative. Oh no, I've got it right there. My level 2 list items are spelled properly, right? Position relative. Okay, now let's go to level 3. I'm going to take this stuff out. This might be throwing it off here because I got that because I'm contradicting something that I had earlier because I'm dealing with this stuff up here. Let's see if that gets me back. Okay, we're starting to get a little bit better. Notice my list items still don't look very good, or it's my anchors don't really look good. So let's see. Level 2 list items, list style none, position relative. You know what I can do here? I'll do a group selector, unordered list level 3 child list items. So now both of them should have those same characteristics, and I should be able to do similar things here. But yeah, I want the same borders too. So I'm going to copy all of this, and we'll do a comma and a paste, and now this is going to be level 3. How's that looking? All right, we're getting better. We're getting better. So now we go here. Copy all of that. Oops, undo. Copy, comma, space, paste, and this will be level 3. All right, still not getting my background color. Oh, because I'm messing around with the last child stuff. which is okay. I do want that. I want the border radius. I want all of that. I want the first child. I want the last child. That's all good. So I need this one too, it looks like. Copy, comma, space, paste, level 3. All right, now we're getting there. My you can definitely tell my border radius is definitely screwed up. So somehow I screwed that up. So let's make sure I've got this. Unordered list, level 3, list item first child. Oh, they are going to have different border radius. No, they're going to be the same. Yes, I'm looking at the top and top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right of the whole list item here. So that is what it's supposed to be. So let's look at this real quick here. Unordered list, level 3, the first anchor, list item first child, then the anchor, has a border radius of this. Now, if this kind of gets confusing, I should be able to go to and do something crazy like background color pink, and that should exaggerate where those top ones are. And you can see, yeah, well, you probably can't see. Let me choose better colors. Red. There we go. Yeah, I can see that I'm not getting the top border radius like I would have expected. So that's top left, that's top right. That looks pretty good. Did I screw up on my comma somehow? Let me put this on 2 lines so that way I can just stare at it a little bit more. No, those look pretty good. Actually, that's a nicer way to write these anyway. List item first child within unordered list level 3 and the anchor within that. I don't know why my border radius doesn't seem quite right. Now if I had zeros for all 5 sides. Okay, let me do this. Let's look at the last child one. Maybe that's what's screwing me up here. Put this on its own line. Level 3, border radius. Background color red. Let's make all of these 0. Okay, so I no longer have my border radii anymore. But look how it's affecting all of these. That's a little crazy, right? It's affecting these middle ones too. So, unordered list, level 2, the last list item within level 2, the anchor within the last list item of level 3. So the last list item within level 3 so why are these other ones getting formatted? Unless they're taking on all the characteristics of their parent. So what if I changed it to I don't know what I want to do here. All right, but let me noodle on this for a minute. As soon as I was just, I was putting these in. I think I see what it is. I've got this is a descendant selector. So I need those in because that was take care of all anchor tags that are a descendant. I need the child selector. And even if this one wasn't causing me the same issue, I'm going to do this to be consistent. Okay. And let's see, so the last one, it's going to be that, and the top one is going to be this, and I'll do 0 pixels, 0 pixels. I think that's going to get me, yeah, there we go. Now we're in business. All right, let's get rid of that hideous background color of red. So now things are going a little bit better. Okay, now you may notice though that my level 3 submenu is noticeably wider than my level 2 submenu. Level 2 submenu's width, 130%, is based off of the parent list item. Well, this 130% width is based off of its parent item, so it's 130% of this one, which is 130%. I'm not necessarily put off by that. There was a consistency in width with this one, but I am slightly okay with that bigger width, especially since the text in here is longer. So I'm not going to fix that, but if I was, then that's what I would do. I would say, okay, well, don't be 100. I would have to say that the sub level 3 is going to be 100% width and not 130% width, but I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm fine with it. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the display none. So let's see, where's that? My level 2, actually, unordered list level 2, unordered list level 3, display none. And then we need these to display block, so I'm going to do a comma, unordered list dot level 2, list item colon hover, unordered list dot level 3 display block. I think that'll work. Services, go down to branding. Oops, I just lost it. Oh, I think what's happened, I just move a little bit too fast and I move off of that list. Now, obviously that's going to happen regardless. So if I thought that was going to be a real legitimate concern for me, then I would have to go through and maybe add more padding to this anchors and make them nice and big. Because they are actually relatively small, but just increasing that top and bottom padding, I think I have 12 pixels top and bottom, making it a little bit bigger will give you a bigger clickable zone, and yeah, I'm going to do that anyway. I think it'll look better. So let's see, I just need to find where that, here we go. And these are the same, so I'm assuming, did I not do that for the second one? These should be duplicated, right? Oh, that's level 1. I want a level 2 and level 3. Level 2, level 3, level 2, level 3 anchors. Here it is, padding. So maybe I'll do something like 16 pixels top and bottom, 10 pixels left and right. And that should make these a little bit chunkier. So I'm less likely to scroll down and lose stuff. All right, otherwise, I think we're doing pretty good. So now the final thing I want to take care of here, or the final couple things I want to take care of here, is basically cleaning up some of the hover effects and these little triangles. So I think just hover effects and triangles are all I need. So on the main menu, when I hover over, it changes from orange to black. And on the submenu, when I hover, it changes from black to orange. And I don't seem to be hovering over here, but I'm assuming that's also going to be black to orange. So that way it's always clear where the visitor is at. So I'm going to focus on the little hover changes first, I think. So I want, when I'm in this level, so I'm at personal branding right now, I want services to have a black background color, and I want branding to have an orange background color, and I want personal branding to have an orange background color. Okay. It's one of these simple but complicated things, right? So we just have to think carefully. Okay, well, when I'm hovering over this, and we might be good just about changing, yeah, just change anchors on background colors. So let's see how this might go. Get code back. And I guess I'll put these down here. How about a little comment? Anchor hover styles. Let's see. How do I want to write this? I don't know. Unordered list dot level 1 child li:hover anchor. Now I know I've got that written somewhere already. I think I've got it written somewhere already. And I'm just going to try something here. Background color, I don't know what I'm using, 222 or 333, something like that. 333 probably. Okay, well let's see if that does something. So I'm changing the anchor when I hover over the list item. Oh, let me do that descendant selector thing. Okay, excellent. We're doing pretty good here. So I can see services. All right, we're in good shape. And now, using a similar technique, in fact, I'm going to copy this. Level 2 list item hover anchor. That color is going to change to, I think brown is what I'm doing. Ooh, yeah, we're in good shape. And then I just need to do the same thing for level 3. So I'm going to copy that, comma, enter, paste, and this will be a level 3. That's what I wanted. Perfect. Okay, I think that's good. So I think we're good in the old hover. Why did that just, oh, you know what? It's because I'm doing this auto refresh thing. So I think that's what's going on. My code with that live server. So I think that's the reason. And I think I had that issue before doing like hamburger menu icons or something. So there we go. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, however, we also have these baby little triangles. I don't like the order of the triangles. I don't know. The triangles aren't bad, I guess. At first I was saying you can't really see them, but they point to the main menu. I was thinking, I don't know, maybe they should point the other way. But that actually looks pretty good. So I just need to get those little triangles on there. Now the triangles are going to be positioned absolutely, I think, on the list item. That might be a good way to do it. So when the list item appears, then the triangle will appear. That's probably the safest way to do. I just need little triangles, right? So do I want to use like an image icon or like a feather icon, like a little SVG icon? That might be okay, right? Now if I go to feather icons, can I find myself a cute little triangle? What if I did a search for arrow? Nope, these are all legitimate arrows, and I want a triangle. So what if I tried triangle? Ooh, here we go. Little triangle. I like it. Let's see. I can choose some colors here, but these are going to change a little bit, so I actually might need to get 2 of them. And because these are SVG images, we can actually go into the code and swap them out quite easily. So for instance, if I did a color of EEE, and I do 0 stroke width. Oh, I can't do a 0 stroke width. Well, I probably could later on, so I guess I won't worry about that too much. Now I'm not seeing the, I thought the color would, oh, you know, it's the color of the stroke width. That's what it is. So if the stroke width is really thick, I can kind of see it changing on there. So it's kind of like a hollow triangle, which might be okay. I'm still going to go with this one because then if we swap out the icon, that shouldn't be too big of a deal. Now the size, I'm going to go small here. I'll do a 16 pixel triangle. Now of course this is pointed up, but we'll just rotate it to point it to the left as necessary. And I'm going to take this stroke down to 2 pixels. All right, I think that's going to be sufficient for now. And I think I just left click on this. It goes to my downloads folder, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pause my screen. I'm going to take this and move it over to my demos folder that I'm working with. There you go. I'm back. I just stuck it right in here. There's my triangle SVG. So if I right-click on, actually no, I could just open it up right in VS Code. So I could do open with code. That would be fine. Edit with Notepad++ would work too. Basically, when I open up this SVG image, see it right over here, basically we just get a whole bunch of markup. Let me zoom in on this. And if you really stare at it, you can start to see all the things that you can change. For instance, I can see there's the width and the height controls for the image. There's the stroke width for it. There's the stroke color right there. Now it says fill none, so I'm kind of curious if I change this, will I get a different image? So that could be something worth changing. And if you want to have two little triangle images, then obviously we can just copy this and then we'll have a new one. And give it a slightly different file name. So I could have triangle up and triangle left or something like that. Actually, there's probably a way to rotate it in here too, but I don't know how to do that. I'm sure there, obviously, it's going to be this. It's going to be this path control. So with these path coordinates, this is what's creating the actual shape of the triangle. And this is where I wonder if I wonder if ChatGPT could do this really well. I'm curious. I'm going to try it out. So let's see. I'm going to move this off to the side. I happen to have ChatGPT open, I think, up here. All right. I'm just going to do I'm going to click on this. New chat. Okay. So I'm going to say, what do I want to write? I want to say, write the SVG code to create a small triangle that is that is 16 by 16 pixels, has a yellow fill color, and a white stroke. The stroke is 2 pixels. All right, let's see what it gives us here. Yeah. All right, so things are looking... I really just need the path information, right? Well, it definitely looks different than the one I got from Feather Icons. That one looks pretty darn simple. But it's got the points, the coordinates. I wonder how theirs is going to look. Okay. All right, I'm going to copy this code. Oh, I'll just hit copy code. I'm going to come back over here. Actually, let me do this first. I'll do File, Save As. I'm going to save this first one just with a slightly different name. We'll call it Triangle 1. All right, and then I'll just paste that code. File, Save As. We're going to call this bad boy Triangle 2. Let's see what we get. Okay, now back over to the to our code though that we're working on. I lost my picture. Here's my picture. Okay, so these are going to be located in slightly different spots depending on where there are. So I need my unordered list to be, or my level 2 menus and my level 3 menus, unordered list. Those do need to be position relative for sure. So let me go ahead and take care of that right now. I've got them somewhere up here, right? Unordered list level 2, unordered list level 3. Ah, perfect. They don't need to be position absolute because they are position relative because they're already position absolute. And you can position things absolutely within an absolutely positioned container as well. So that's going to be sufficient. I don't need to add position relative to them. So now I need to go to the HTML though. I need to pop in my icons. And these aren't going to be part of the list item. These are going to be part of the unordered list. So I'll just stick them right up here at the top. Image source equals images / and I'll go with triangle 1 for now. Alt is going to be empty because it's decorative. Sometimes you'll put the word decorative in there, but I'm just going to leave it empty. And I'm just going to do that for a second. And I don't even need to give it a class because this is like the only image in here. So I can just say the image for the positioning, the image that's in the menu should be sufficient. Now, do I notice anything on my page? Oh yeah, so there's a little triangle pointing up. And if I go there, you're not going to see it. Oh, I didn't put it on the other one, that's why. So let's go back down here. Copy that. And this needs to go into my level 3. Okay, so now I got the same image on there, but of course those images are only going to show up when we see, okay, so there's my level 1. Now the one I tinkered with though was triangle 2. So I'm going to change both of these, and let's see if that looks interesting. Ooh, it's yellow, and yeah, that looks pretty good. And that is a little triangle. Okay, well, I know that doesn't solve my original problem though, but if I go back to the code and I do a file save as triangle 3. Okay, now we would just have to know how to do these coordinates up here. So obviously there's 3 coordinates. Of course, I'm quite certain we could go to ChatGPT and we could say something like, I have ChatGPT still open, right? Go back to my browser. And let's say, okay, all right, say, hey, this is great, but can you make the triangle so it is pointing left? Need to adjust the points in the polygon element. Okay, so it's giving me the slightly different numbers there. Which makes sense. It would just be tinkering with those coordinates, and I'm sure those of you that have good math logic skills, you could probably, or spatial logic, probably would have figured that out very, very quickly. But already my video's like 51 minutes here, it looks like. So let's jump back over to this code, and I'm just going to replace this, paste. And this is already set as triangle 3. Save that. And then we can change colors and stuff too, but let me jump back over to the code. And this is now going to be triangle 3. Oops, I just screwed something up. I don't know what I just hit. Close that search box. Let's try this again. Back down to the HTML. Triangle 3. Okay, I think we got that. Back over here. Okay, there's the triangle pointing up, and there's the triangle pointing to the left. Awesome. So now I just got to get on to the positioning. And I guess I could make those both white, but it doesn't really matter. I'll let you tinker with that one. Now, the triangle is actually much smaller than what we see here, but let me just work on the positioning. It looks like it's a little bit to the left of center, so I'll go over to the CSS now. And I guess I can little triangles. And let's see, unordered list dot level 2 image position absolute. We'll do 0 pixels from the top, and I don't know, we could do a pixels or percentage, 20% from the left. And I can't see my little triangle anymore, and I wonder if it's tucked behind something. So it could be. Oh, I'm missing a semicolon. That certainly would affect it. Okay, I can see. I can just get the hint that the triangle is, but it's behind everything. So I am going to z-index, not inherent. I'm going to give it a number like 10. Just positive number, put it up on top. And so now that triangle's on the top. Great. So I don't want it to be 0 from the top. And of course, I want it to be, and I think my triangle's like 16 pixels. So if I did something like 10 pixels, ooh, I think I need -10. -10 from the top. Yeah, now we're getting a little bit better. And it's just because the triangle is so big. So if that triangle was smaller, I think we'd be in pretty good shape. So let me go back to my triangle code. Now I should be able to open it up right here in VS Code too. So I can go to, I'm playing around with triangle 2, I believe. So triangle 2, I want the fill to be that white, and I want the stroke to be that white. Now if I make this smaller though, that's going to screw up my coordinates, right? So what if I do 8 by 8, and then can I divide these in half? 4, 8, 8, 8? Okay, and then I'll just do a Control S to save. Let me close this other code though, don't need that. Yeah, that's pretty good, and then I can just affect the positioning. Actually, the yellow might actually be pretty good, so I'm going to change this to FF0 is a bright yellow, so I'll do FF9, FF9, and then I'm going to jump back over here, and now maybe if this is like a -4 from the top. Yeah, that's pretty good. Obviously, you can play around with the sizes, but I think that's giving us certainly the gist of what we want. So now I want to do something similar with triangle 3. So I'm going to open up my triangle 3. I'm going to change the fill to FF9, the stroke to FF9, and I'm going to divide that. 8 becomes 4, 16 becomes 8, 16 becomes 8, make this 8, make this 8. Save that, refresh, and then I just got to work on the positioning for this other one. Okay, so for the level 3 menu, let's do a little copy paste. So level 3 is position absolute, and I'm going to do left -4 pixels, and from the top, it's right near the top, I'll just do a positive number, 8 pixels. See how that looks? Yeah, could have been a little bit more. 16 pixels. Oh, I wonder if yeah, that's probably good enough. Yeah, it's actually, yeah, obviously you can fine tune it all you want, but you know, so you can see kind of where the little triangle is. It is nice that it is showing up kind of like right there midway. I wonder how easy it would be for me to do that. Yeah, probably just tinkering with the numbers, but so I don't think I'm going to do that for now, but it's just a matter of changing that position of those little triangles. Or, you know, I could probably experiment with making them wider, different colors and stuff like that, but I think that's really, that's the key thing. I think that's pretty good for our nav menu. Let's see, what's broken on mine? I don't seem to have my top, my border radiuses on my level 3 menu do not look the way they're supposed to look. I don't see my curvy corners. So I wonder if, let me see if I screwed something up there. Where's my border radius? Unordered list, that's the last child. There's the first child. So that should be okay. List item, first child, anchor. Ah, here's what's broken. My list item is no longer the first child because I've got that image in there. That's what's going on with that. So what I might need to do here is I'll say something like list item inth of type 1. So now it's truly the first list item, not the first child. And if I go back to this, oops, there it is. Yep, I can see my curvy corners again. And oh, I need to make the same fix to this other one. So we'll change this. Inth of type, number 1. and we are back in business. Whew, all right. So I know that took a little time, but I'm pretty happy with this. And I think we got ourselves a good looking little menu. Obviously we can clean up a few things, but for the most part, it's yeah, it's got the example that we were striving for. And I'm really happy that we got a chance to experiment with using a little bit of ChatGPT to give us some SVG code for some triangles on there. So if you made it this far in the video, appreciate your time, and I'm looking forward to seeing your drop-down menus. Take care.